Good morning, everyone. Dr. Steve Stohler here, Fundamental Health Solutions. You know, we're the doctors that try to teach people to think right, eat right, move right, and live right. And today is first in a series of our Move Right. Today we're going to talk about one of the most basic human movements, the squat. And the squat has been disappearing from our vocabulary, and with it has come a lot of back pain and hip problems because of this loss of function. So I'm going to give you a couple things today to assess where you're at with your squat, and then to build your vocabulary back up, because it's important to have a good vocabulary of movement if you want to have a nice longevity and with your movement and ability to be functional. So today we're going to just look at the squat and let's just assess where we're at. So your feet are about shoulder width apart. One of the things that's really important is to watch how a toe might like to turn out. That's a little indicator of a problem that might be brewing somewhere in a hip or a knee or an ankle. So we're going to strive to keep our feet about shoulder width apart. We're going to keep our toes facing relatively forward as much as we can. And I would just tell you just to reach out, palms down or thumbs up, and just as a counterbalance, just to see where you're at. You're going to squat as low as you can, bringing your hips down as close as you can to your heels without your ankles coming off the floor. So if you're able to do that, congratulations. That's really pretty good. If you can't, try holding your knees in with your elbows. That'll keep you from rocking back. But once you're in that position, you're going to feel a nice stretch. Now, humans were meant to stay in this position for long periods of time. We socialized like this, we ate meals like this, we hunted and gathered in whether it's rice paddies or in the fields to do this kind of work, and it was actually a comfortable position. And most of you will feel that your back is actually stretching out. The squat is a decompression exercise for the spine, and I really encourage it for everyone. But let's say you can't get there. Let's say you're having a problem and you want to build it back. Well, I found some folks at the Stick Mobility site, and they've created some great tools that'll kind of help us. So one of the first things that I like to do to help get that first initial bit of squat and have the arms above the head is to have two nice tall sticks. I just happen to promote this Stick Mobility. I think these guys are geniuses with some of the exercises they have, and I've been really encouraging that in my practice. But if our hands are up, then we can actually squat down and practice getting into our heels, just a low squat. Now, for some of my patients, this is a difficult position. And then stand back up. Squat down. The poles provide stability, and if you push into the ground, you can actually get core activation. One of the things that you may be able to see in the mirror is how my back will sway or not sway. The idea is to keep the tube on as you squat down so you're not resting on your back. And of course, maybe you can see that in the mirror, but this butt-tipped back position, it creates problems, and my core is not on and my ribs aren't down. But if I tuck my back a little bit, pull my ribs down, and then squat, I can avoid the infamous butt wink if possible, and I can develop the ability to control from my feet through my hips into my back and allow for a squat. Once I feel comfortable going down with two poles, these two tall poles, I can change them out for two shorter poles. Now these two poles are a little bit lower, so it'll allow me to go a little bit deeper without the fear of falling. And that really is very important, both neurologically and for safety reasons, because if we feel safe, then the proper muscles can relax and the proper muscles can contract to facilitate that movement. So once we've done that, then the last piece of the puzzle is, how do I get all the way down? And for that, you either need a short ceiling or a big stick. I happen to have a big stick. Now I press that into the ceiling. What that does for me is it creates my core tone. I have this tensegrity of my spine. And then if I take my nose and slide it right down the stick, I am now able to get all the way down, hold it, and feel totally pressurized through my core, and then come back up. And as I build strength and endurance, I can do it multiple times. The squat is one of the core fundamental movements that you must have. So develop the ability to use that, and I promise you, many of the problems you do have will go away. Thanks for joining us on Move Right Monday. Have a great night.